Welcome to Franchise Canada Chats, the podcast that takes you inside the world of Canadian franchising. I'm Renée Boudakian, founder and CEO of Rubicon Franchise Partners, and your host for Season 9. This season, we're going beyond the business model to uncover the real stories of franchise owners, the risks they took, the lessons they learned, and the successes they built. Join us as we sit down with franchisees, their franchisors, and industry experts to discuss emerging trends, cutting-edge technologies, and operational strategies shaping the future of franchising. Whether you're thinking about buying your first or next franchise, this podcast is your inside track to franchise success in Canada. On today's episode, I'm joined by Tahir Siddique, a multi-unit franchisee with Pizza, whose journey began in the kitchen. He started out as a cook and worked his way up to the store manager before taking the leap into ownership. Today, he runs 2 successful locations that have earned the highest sales awards multiple times, and he supports the training of new franchise owners as a franchisee training manager. Tahir's commitment to the brand and to building strong relationships within the franchise network has earned him national recognition. In 2020, he took home bronze for the Canadian Franchise Association's Franchisee of the Year Award, which honors top performing franchisees across the country. In today's conversation, we'll explore how Tahir made the leap from working in the kitchen to owning 2 top performing locations, how community has played a key role in his journey, and what it takes to run a successful business. Let's get into it. Tahir, welcome to Franchise Canada Chats.
Thank you for having me in your show, Renée. I can tell you something a little bit about myself, my background, which is I was born in Lahore, Pakistan, and did my bachelor in business and accounting. And I did join a accounting firm after that, after graduating from a university and then working for them. But I think while I was working, it wasn't for me the career I always wanted to pursue. And the career I always wanted to pursue, it was a hospitality industry back that time. So there was no much in Pakistan in terms of hospitality industry during that time period. So it was a big decision for me to do something which I always wanted to do, pursue my career, where I have a passion, where I can do things the way I wanted to do. So I decided to move to Canada. I did shortlist a few countries, but I believe the Canada was moving into my new home. It was a great decision for me at that time, and I came to Canada in 2000. So that's where my journey started.
I love it. And so you came to Canada, and then how did you find your way into the franchising pathway? You had the desire to get into hospitality. So that was already, part of your DNA, you could say. But what specifically was it about franchising and pizza? Tell me a little bit about how did you find about the franchising pathway. Was that something you knew about back home, or is that something that you came to know about when you came here to Canada?
Well, in 2000, when I came here, it was a different world, obviously away from your family, your loved ones. And this is the whole thing was completely changed in my life. And because I had a passion in the food industry and hospitality industry. So I did join George Brown College for 2 years program, which is hotel management, and it was a baking and pastry arts. And I did chef training in those 2 years while I was doing study full time. And I did look for a part-time work, and I went to worked for a different pizza locations as a cook. So that's where I found the Pizza is a great company, and the system they have, it's amazing. The product they have, people love it, and I kind of fall in love with the company. And as I had always to be entrepreneur and to do something in a business rather than just a job, right? So I found this is great. So working part time with the different restaurants, I found out this is a great company. I can be a franchisee with them one day and then have my own locations under the same umbrella, right? So this is where we fall in love in this franchise model, and it's great. I love it.
I think that's amazing. So it sounds to me like after schooling at George Brown, this was one of the first places that you got a job as a cook in the kitchen. And did you, once you started to kind of see the business, as you said, you saw um the strength of Pizza's brand and the system. It sounds to me like you didn't consider any other brands. Is my assumption correct? Did you ever look at any others, or was it always Pizza from the beginning?
No, I finished my 2 year schooling here, and then I got a great job in Hilton Hotel in Toronto.
Okay,
It was a great opportunity for me, and I was working in a kitchen as a sous chef by that time. But as I said, I was working part time as a cook in Pizza, and I love it, right? And then after that, even though I was working with the Hilton Hotel, but I always wanted to do something my own business, right? So I mean, after a few years, during that time of period, I was thinking to do something in my in a business, right? So I did consider a few other companies as well, but the pizza, I must say that even though till today or even back in those years, it's a truly Canadian company which we feel proud, and number one in pizza brand in Ontario. We are still number one brand in a pizza Ontario. So that was a really a strong brand which never let me do something else in terms of having my own restaurants, having my own business with under franchise. So that was the
definitely.
reason. Yeah.
And correct me if I'm wrong, Pizza won first place for the EF 100 year this year, the Elite Franchise 100 Award. They were ranked number one across 100 different franchise brands in Canada, which is quite an accomplishment.
Yeah, yeah, and we are now. Let me tell you, that is even more excitement for in our company. Like we are now international brand. We have few locations in Mexico now. So during all those years, we've been expanding and expanding with the great sales. Even though we have so many competitors, which you can find out always. I believe whatever the business you do, you have to compete other competitors as well. But almost now it's going to be close to 60 years, so you can't go wrong. The system they build up for all those years, their hard work, and so many franchisees, right? So I mean, this is all a great family.
Definitely. So tell me a little bit about 25 years ago when you came and you, as you said, you went through your schooling, you had a job, and then you had another job, part-time job at Pizza. What was it that you started to observe about the brand that made you fall in love with it? What specifically was it? The culture? Was it the ease of the systems? What were the things that kind of interested you in turning the wheels in your mind to think, you know what, maybe one day I can see myself in an ownership position?
Well, business is, I say, always a risk, right? So I took that risk with the calculation of few things, which I already worked for Pizza as a part time, and I seen it. I met the franchisees, not even a one franchisee. I worked with a different franchisee as well, and I seen it, the system itself, and then the people, like our team, they're so happy, and I said we do have challenges, we do have problems, and but it's like how you handle those things, and then how you come up across to those things, right? And during that time, I found like they're very satisfied. They've been working with this company for so many years. This is not something a new company, and this is something the system itself, like helping their franchisee from A to Z, which the business requires. So that secure whole thing is it was in my mind to get go to start your own business with under franchisor. So there was no other second thought in my mind to, if I'm going to start a business, I'm going to go look for somebody else. So their system, they're taking care of their team members. They treat us as their family, right? So what else you can ask from your employer if you're working for someone? So those are the great things they have, and they still have even till today.
Definitely. And one of the things you highlighted just in this, which makes so much sense, is that when you have experience, like firsthand experience, there's such a value in thinking about how to continue to ascend and grow within the company, as opposed to like a grass is greener on the other side, because there are a lot of entrepreneurs who might be in a similar position as where you are, but might not be ready to commit to the brand because they might think that there are other opportunities out there. But for you, it sounds like a very logical decision. You had the firsthand experience, you liked all the points that you just mentioned about the culture, about the systems, the people are happy. And so for you, as you said, there was no other, you didn't consider other options because it checked those boxes. And I think that that's an important thing to highlight, is that in business, especially in business ownership, and when you're considering franchise brands, there are so many of them. And if you do have some experience with one, it might be interesting to continue to pursue that path, because um, the every brand has its amazing points and it also has its challenges. And so when you already have that layer of knowledge, it kind of gets you one step closer. So anyway, I just wanted to highlight that. I think it was a very interesting part. And um, let's talk a little bit to hear about so when you made the ascension from in the kitchen to the store manager to then business owner, the franchisee, one of the key questions that a lot of folks have is about capital, especially in, your position. What did the timeline look like from when you were the cook to when you were the franchisee? How many years did that take between that timeline?
It took me around 8 years.
Okay.
And 8 years from 2000, and beginning of 2009 I became a franchisee with Pizza. First 2 years from 2000 to couple of years was my study, and then after finishing my school, so working with the Hilton Hotel and different other restaurants as well. And it took me I say 6 years to gain that capital which Pizza requires to start, to give them a deposit and to have a franchisee fee and then the restaurant cost and everything. So it took me 8 years to gain that capital to become a franchisee. I wish I could have more money even earlier than 2009. So I'll be more happy to be franchisee even from 2003, right? So that was a little time to me save some money and then to have that capital to start the business.
Yeah, you hit the nail on the head of exactly where I was going with that question. Is I wanted to know, how did you gather the capital to make the investment? Because that is a key question that a lot of entrepreneurs and prospective franchisees have. They want to know how others did it before them. And in your case, did you also go down any loan path, or you just over the 6 years were saving and then you had all the investment that you needed to start your first location?
No, actually, I did take a loan when I bought a first restaurant. So it was I got married during that time, and we saved some money, and then I bought my apartment. And during all those years, me and my wife, we know that what I wanted to do in my life, and I have two young kids. Then I when I bought a first restaurant, so we decided, it was see, one tough decision I made it in when I was in Pakistan. The other one I made it when I was here in Canada, and then we had a really great discussion. Me and my wife sat down several times, and then she knows that whatever decision I'm gonna make, it is gonna be for my family. It's gonna be for my kids, for my wife, and for my extended family as well. So she is, I can't say more thank you than to anybody else. Like, she supported me all the way till there, and then we ended up selling our place where we live. This is something I say that not everybody could do it, to put everything on a table, whatever you have it, to start your own first business, right? So it was a great risk, even though knowing all that ins and outs, working for the company where I was going to buy a restaurant. But still, she supported me all the way till there, and then we ended up selling our apartment, and we got some money to pay initial amount, I say, and then we took some loan from the bank as well, because government also has a small business loan, right? So that was a great help for us as well. So we took that loan. we sold our apartment, and that's where that's where I started my own business with the Pizza.
I think that that is amazing. And thank you for sharing those details because, again, it's so valuable and helpful for the listeners to hear how others have walked the path before them. And so, in your journey, you made the decision. You took a lot of calculated risks, and you signed on the dotted line to start your first business. What did onboarding with Pizza look like?
When you say onboarding, like you meant to be what kind of things they are providing you on that time, or it's about the
Yeah.
restaurants?
I mean, what I mean by that is so, as a brand new franchisee to the system, what was that experience like going from store manager to now store owner? And what did the actual training, because you're a franchisee training manager, what did the training that you received all those years ago, what did it look like from the support that you got from the corporate offices? What did that look like? Give us a little picture.
Sure. I'm glad you asked this question. That time, actually, they didn't have any role as a franchisee training managers. We do have a facility in Toronto. It's a training center, and we called a little university, Pizza University. We do have it that uh, for the new franchisee. So what the company does even that time and even till today. So that time we have 6 week 6 week trainings at the Pizza University, that institute, to teach every single thing in terms of the baking pizzas, cooking, everything what we sell. So we have in class training up in there to teach how does the system work, how you gonna run your operations. So we do get that support even back in that time as well, and hands-on training, because not everyone is working for the pizza, buying a restaurants with the pizza. So your background could be a different, your background could be IT, your background could be a pharmacist, so you are from a different backgrounds. But for those 6 weeks was like really helpful for the new franchisee even till today as well, right? So I did took that part as well, even though I've been working for the pizza as a cook and as a manager level as well, right? But I did took that training as well, 6 week in there, and then 6 week was in restaurants as well. So it was a 3 months training before you hand it over to your keys, right? So it doesn't stop even till there. For after 3 months, when you complete your training, then you got your key, you got your restaurants, and then you still have a support from head office. We have, it's called the managers. So we have few managers who they are trained to help a new franchisees, because as a manager, it's a one thing. Yes, you know the things in and out, but once you become an owner, it's a bit different.
Right.
Then you have more things. Then you have more things to do. Then you have more views and things, the way you wanted to run your business, right, under the same company, under the same brand, right? So it was a bit different than from the manager. But we do have a support system, even though till today, hands-on training, and then practically you go to the restaurants, and then you get a training for, as I'm giving today, as a franchisee manager, to help new franchisee who they finish their training at the facility we have, Pizza University, and then they come and see me, and we have a couple of others, franchisee training managers as well, from our BC side or from our Quebec side, right? So I mean, they go there and then get their further trainings before they hand it over the key to the restaurant.
Mm-hmm. What kind of topics are covered during this training? Like, so in your experience as the franchisee training manager or one of them, what kind of topics are covered at Pizza University at a high level? Is it talking more about like the operations? Is it talking about customer service? Is it all of the above? Like, what are some of the things that are important for a new franchise owner to learn?
Well, it does. It does teaches us and the new franchisee, from A to Z. This is what you're committing for. This is something you're gonna do in your coming days. This is what you wanted to do, right? So from A to Z, in training, the pizza. Well, let me just a little bit elaborate what does the system works in pizza. So once you have your own business, let's say you got the new restaurant, so it's all finished, it's all completed. You got the key, you have the system, and in that system, like it takes your lot of burden off from your shoulders, right? So, or if you're buying an existing restaurant, so you're gonna have everything, even from really from first day. All the equipments are there, all the training which we needed to run those equipments you have there, all the product you're going to use to you're going to sell to your customers, that pizza provides to their franchisee. There's nothing we can buy it from outside. Our head office does it a great things for us. We don't need to look for buying a dough, we don't need to look to buy vegetables, we don't need to go out to buy a cheese or sauce. So they do cover every single thing. And when we are getting a training, so either it's a paperwork related training, this is how the order is going to come, this is how we're going to make the orders, and we're going to have, and this is how we're going to deliver to our customers. Yes, of course, any business, customer service is the number one priority. And the product you are giving to the customers, how to take care of that product. This is not something you're getting the product, and if you don't know how to manage that thing, how to run the operations, so this is something they emphasize. They focused on all little minor things which we can imagine we might missed it, but in our system, because I believe it's been almost 60 years. So our company made a huge changes in terms of giving our community back, in terms of customer service, in terms of product. So they cover pretty much every single things in those training times. And getting all those trainings, you still, when you're going to be on road, I say you got a great lesson from your instructor. You're a really good driver, right? But and you're on a 401 I'm saying, because this is something in Toronto, right? So what that time, all that training is gonna help you, but the decision and a few things you're gonna make it, what you seen, what you're doing on the road. So this is something uh, amazing structure they provide us, and then they give us that key, okay, with the pride and with the dignity. Here's the restaurant, now we are with you all the time, all the support. So now you're gonna give back to the community.
Okay, I love that. And it sounds super, super comprehensive. I mean, I think that's one of the benefits of a very established franchise system is that they have had years, decades,
Yeah.
to really perfect and improve and enhance their training. And so I think that really shines with Pizza. And I know that you've won the highest sales award multiple times in recent years with Pizza. I would love to ask you, what do you think makes your locations stand out with their sales numbers and like be top performers in the system? What is it? What's your secret sauce? Tell me to hear.
Well, as I said, I had experience working with the restaurants and even with the pizza. But when I first took over this restaurant, the one I'm running now, uh, I had a challenges as well in terms of how I'm gonna bring the sales up. This is what I got now, so I got everything what I was looking for. And that's another little story which I can never ever forget till the day I die. The person named Mr. Fikr Sukru, he's still with the company. He's with the company for over 30 years. Uh, I was not thinking at that point out of the box. There is something I was more focused on, just to staying in my own restaurant, giving service to every single customer by myself. Like I wish I could have I could work for every single day 24 hours and then serve every single person who comes into my restaurant. So this is what the mentality I have in that time. So God bless him. He came and then he sat down with me quite a few times, and he had a really great experience as an entrepreneur as well, which I have to learn at that time, because I worked it for different owners, different restaurants, but I never ever had an entrepreneurship experience in that time. So he really turns the table around in other ways, changed my mind. This is not something I can always do and then earn the things I always wanted to grow in my life. So I start thinking out of the box, and out of the box, I say I was stepping out, working in my restaurant, wanted to make sure everything is fine from day in and out operation. I have the staff, I have the product, and then we are doing it. Every single thing is right. So I stepped out from my restaurant. Stepped out means where I call my cooks or supervisor, let's say 4 p.m. So I was calling them start 2 p.m. So I got a couple of hours to play around, to go reach out in my community. So I start going to the schools. So yes, there were challenges. Not everyone is gonna say that okay, perfectly fine. You're more than welcome to give us a pizzas, and then here's the done deal. No, I did do quite a few door knocking to go to different banks, motels in my area, arenas in my area, wherever I see a little opportunities where I can give something to my community and earn their support from their side, because I'm a really strong believer. Without the community support, without your family support, you can't achieve the targets what you're looking for. So that's where the actual journey starts, when I stepped out. So finally I seen it. Yes, there are a few doors they didn't open at me at that time, but I got successfully got a few orders from Peel Board region, Catholic region board. So that's where I seen a huge difference in my sales. One order, two order, three orders, or from arenas, from motels, from banks. So that's where my sales start building up. And the same kids I see, they're coming with their families the evening time, night time. And I was always thinking I wish I could have started this one even before, and that was a really turning point in my life, and towards to my sales. So I think that was a great success that time. And at one point, at the beginning, I was surprised, like the whole company, I was number one in terms of sales. Where I started, and then it multiplies. I could not believe that time. I did it. And I was so excited. But for me, it I have to step out, and I tell every new franchisee, this is not something you're just gonna take care of your restaurants, staying inside the restaurant and then doing everything right. You need to step out, and that our business requires that efforts in order to be a shine, in order to be a star. So I was a star for quite a few times.
I think this is amazing advice. And truly, being a staple in the community and having, not waiting for customers to come through your doors, but to go to their doors and make yourself known and keep knocking on those doors as well. Because as you said, not the first time you go, they're going to say you've got the order. That persistence and consistency and community involvement, all very, very strong attributes. And I think really great, sales qualities. And so no wonder you have earned that award so many times and been recognized. Well, that's amazing.
Let me add up one more thing in there.
Yes.
Once I approached the schools, and I sat down with the principal or the staff members, and I asked them to, is there any possibility the kids can come into my restaurants before we go open up? Let's say we open our restaurants 10 a.m. So if you could bring your one class for 8 kids or 10 kids or 12 kids or whatever the numbers you have in your class, right? So I want to give them that hands-on experience in their life, like they're making their own pizza at the age of 7 or 8 years old, right? So I mean,
Wow.
those are the smiles when and they start coming. Like I do arrange the kind of little workshop in my own restaurant, and when they come with the teachers and they make their own pizza, I let them make their own pizza, obviously with the safety precautions, right? Because this is not
Sure.
something we wanted to hurt someone. So I cannot forget the smile on their faces when they make their own pizza. They put their name. It's ugly. It's kind of funny shapes, but they they always remember that experience. So I mean, I got quite a few time really great handwritten notes from the kid side, and I
Yeah.
loved it. And I've
I,
seen it even today, and I smile and I loved it.
I can only imagine. And something you touched on, which is very near and dear to my heart, I think that giving the kids these incredible, almost like memories and moments, right, that they're going to remember. But also for me, I think that education about the different types of when you grow up, what could you be and what type of business could you run, and maybe they connected it. I don't know if you explicitly helped them to connect it, or maybe they just will remember it. But I truly believe that more youth, more children from it should be probably taught at the elementary level, for sure at the high school level. A lot of people think about two pathways, either starting their own business or working for someone else. And not enough people really truly understand about the franchise business model as this middle in between pathway where you're in business for yourself, but not by yourself. And so I mean, I'm curious when you have the kids come in and they have these amazing experiences, which is a workshop in itself. Do you talk to them about business? Is that something that comes up? I don't know the ages they are, so I'm curious.
Well, even though there's a one school in my area, the kids come with the disabilities, and they have their own limitations, right? So I was almost crying when the teacher said, with this class of group, when we say them, okay, so which pizza place you wanted to go, every one of them says they wanted to go to this place. And that makes me even more something in, like the kid with the disability, how great they feel when they are here in my restaurant. And I always try to give them the love they need it from parents and from their from us, right? So yes, with the other part, the workshop ones, they few of them, even at right there, I want to be a pizza maker. I want to run a pizza store. So I mean, I cannot imagine the smile they have, the passion they have at that time, making their own pizza. So I mean, yes, they do talk about it. One day we wanted to be a pizza owner. One day we wanted to be a pizza maker, or we want to run the restaurant. So this is something unforgettable things. But you have to step out. Like I wish every other person with this brand or with other franchisee, if they could able to pull these things and then do something different than what so many people are not doing it, it is gonna at the end of the day help you, and it makes you inside so great. It makes you feel so great inside.
Yeah, absolutely. I love all the community involvement and all the things. Really, truly, it's no surprise to me that you're a franchisee training manager because you really have done a lot of amazing initiatives, like in a leadership capacity in your community. What I would love to ask you to hear is one of the things that you had mentioned is that seeking out lessons from other franchisees and building a network has been incredibly valuable for you. I would love to know what's your relationship like with the other franchisees in your system, and how did you go about forging those connections?
Well, I introduced it. I was the first one introduced in my area, where we have 10 and 15 restaurants pretty close. I say within 30-35 kilometer range in Brampton area. So I always wanted to talk. I'm not a shy person. I always wanted to talk people, and I seen it. We are having a lack of communication. Like so many franchisee, they are just busy in their own restaurants, and then having having no time to talk to their colleagues, like their family members. I call it a family members. We are under a one pizza family. So other family members, right? So I did approach them, and it's grateful. So what I did, okay, we're gonna meet up. You guys gonna come over to my restaurants. We're gonna have a lunch. Doesn't matter. It's a pizza or whatever we're going to order. So we're gonna meet each other. We're gonna talk about each other. What kind of challenges you have in your territory? What kind of challenges you have in your territory? Or what are the good things you are doing it, which I might not doing it that, right? So this is something you only gonna know when you interact people, when you're gonna talk to people. If you are just in your nutshell, if you're not sharing your thoughts, see, I believe the knowledge is a key, right? So if you have a knowledge and you're not giving it to the others, so then it's a pointless. Then you're wasting your knowledge, and then you're not learning. If you're not learning, if you're not giving back to your colleagues and your family members, this is waste, right? So I started that, and everyone loves it, and we're still doing it even till today. We have a little get together in our family, in our community. So we do share our challenges, we do share our good things, we do share our things which helps so many other people, and then you start looking for things in a different way. And I think this is a great, and everybody should do it. I mean, if they're not doing it, it's gonna help you. It's gonna help you
Yeah,
in a big way.
absolutely. What would you say to hear is your favorite part about being a franchisee with Pizza Pizza? I know there's probably many, many aspects to it, but if you had to say your favorite, what is it?
See, I always wanted to be entrepreneur. I had my dreams, I had my goals. Pizza gave me that opportunity to fulfill my dreams. Uh, your dreams are endless, but I'm quite satisfied person today. I made a right decision. First to move into Canada, second to be a franchisee to running a tour successful restaurant under this brand. So, and I had a passion to teach people. Pizza gave me that opportunity as well to be a franchisee training manager, which I'm helping so many people. And once in a while, when the new franchisee, like they're in a Sudbury, they're in a Windsor, they're in a different regions, right? And they've done their training with me for a month, for a weeks, and they send a message which says that you made a change in my life. Your wording, your thoughts. Thank you. And that word, I can't even describe. And I share those things with my kids as well. See, this is something you do in your life. People can acknowledge you even though they are not around you. They are far from you, but they still remember you in a good way. So this is something you leave while you're living, while you're doing something, no matter what you're doing.
Yeah, amazing, amazing. And can I ask, what was so from the time that you went from one location to two locations, what was that timeline like? And how did your role change from going from an owner of a single unit to now two units?
In entrepreneurship, I learned again another big thing, to be a good leader, to be example for your team. And once you start looking this way to build a good team, then you have so much flexibility. Then there's so much your team is doing for you. But once you learn that characteristic in your life, how to build a good team, so that's when I started, okay, now I can take another location because I already built a great team here in where I'm putting my all focus. So that's where I started. Now something I can have another restaurant, because while I was working in my first restaurant, so it took me quite a few years, not to just to build a great team, but also to manage something, to give my time to my family as well, my kids as well. So I think it was I could have another restaurant in short time as well, but I wanted to do things right in the way I feel satisfied, the way I can say that I did the right thing. So building that team and seeing so many family attached with me, working for me, and seeing their kids, their parents, and their joy, and it's been, I say, 16 years, and you'll be laughing and you'll be surprised. Even though in this industry, I have person working for me for last 15 years,
Wow.
and they love it. This is something I can feel again proud of myself, to building a great team, to giving them a respect. They deserve it. They're not my employees. They're working for me, but they're working for their families as well. So I always wanted to give them a respect, and without saying, they are giving me a great respect as well. So this is something I feel really proud, and I don't have any big issues or big challenges running a two restaurants at the same time. As I mentioned earlier in my conversation, I wish I could serve every single customer, but I can't. But I want to make sure when I'm not there, they're doing the right things to give back to my community. So I gave them empowerment as well. So blessed.
Well, having a team member be with you for 15 of the 16 years you've been doing this really, again, speaks volumes to the culture within your own team and just um, how much satisfaction there must be, how much appreciation there must be, how much the team is enjoying working with you and under your leadership, because you can't retain people for a decade and a half unless they are being fulfilled in multiple aspects of their life, not just monetarily. That's not what just keeps. It's the culture, it's the appreciation, it's how they feel working with you. So I think that, again, that speaks absolute volumes. um, what I would love to ask is just a little bit for a second. I want to just go off and ask a little bit about some of the maybe aspects of the business that have been harder, maybe harder than you expected. And because I believe all business ownership has its challenges, it has its ups, it has its downs. What are some aspects of being a business owner that maybe were or are more challenging than you initially expected? And how do you face some of those challenges?
Well, as you said that there is no business where you don't see any challenges. There could be a different type of challenges. So yes, we do have a challenge, and I seen it in earlier stages, not anymore now. And I could say that weather was a huge challenge for us in our business, because we still do, even till today, 40 minutes or free in our product, right? So um, we have drivers, our in-house drivers. So we are the one who hires driver for us. And then when it's a winter, and you can imagine that delivering food with the guarantee 40, or when it's really worse, then it goes to 50 minutes or free, right? So dealing with those kind of challenges, it was tough, but honestly, not anymore. You can deal with those things as well. By the time you learn all those years experience, this is something you can do it ahead of time. You cannot change the rain, you cannot change the snow. I wish you could have changes all those things. You There was nothing in our hand. COVID time, so you always come up something. When the COVID started, there's always a panic, there are always challenges, we seen it. But once the time passes by, we got to learn. This is the how we're gonna do the things in different manners. But we were doing the same product, we were delivering the same food, but we learned from that period as well. We could make it easy, we could make it smooth, even though with this difficult time, which I guess I'm not gonna see in my, I never seen it in my entire life till today, the COVID time. And we learned from that period. So in our business, as I mentioned, the weather was the challenge for me at the beginning. Having people first year, hiring a people, and then keeping them with you, because this is not something a one person job or two-person job. I could say that with the two restaurants, I have more than 30 people working for me at this point, and I could be going away for a 2 weeks vacation or 3 weeks vacation, but my operation will run smooth. I I I taught them, and I learned first myself. Okay, this is how I'm gonna keep my people. This is how I'm gonna build a team, and these challenges is not gonna be a challenge. This is gonna be a fine. But this is not something you can't run your operation smoothly. So very few challenges, and having a people, building a team. Once you learn that thing, and then you're fine, then those challenges are seems like it's okay, this is part of your routine. So this is not something. If let's say somebody's calling you, they're starting their shift 5 p.m., right? So they're calling you 4 p.m., they can't come. So you don't need to panic. If you're going to be in panic mode, you're not going to do anything. So you always try to substitute who else is going to cover that shift. If your cook is not coming, so who else is going to cover that shift? If worst scenario, you're there. So I think
Sure.
you're right there. So
Contingencies.
yes, you're right there. So I mean, Those are the challenges I seen it, and during that time I learned, and now those challenges, it's nothing now, not anymore.
I think that's when I speak with different franchise owners, those who have a mindset that is quick and adaptable to change and not rigid, but fluid. The person's not coming. Okay, instead of being upset at that, you got to keep moving like water and figure out the next solution. I think that that is such a great mindset to have, and I think that it's truly when you talk about greatness and being a great franchisee, I think that that's one of the characteristics of great franchisees is that they have to be adaptable to change and just get the information and move quickly to the next decision.
Yeah, let me add one more thing in there.
Yes.
I listened to your podcast, and you nailed it. You said it every single word right there. Once you have a baby, so treat your business as a baby. So don't expect the 1 month baby is gonna run everywhere in the house. They need your attentions. But when they grown up, you don't need to pay that much attention. Yes, you love them. They're babies, right? So you can, but treat your business as a baby. This is the really top right words. And be positive. You can change the things you cannot, but don't make it more mess when you're running the business. So treat your employees. They're not your employees. They're their family. You could make mistake. They can make mistake. You can fix it. It's not gonna be issue. This is not end of the world. So have patience and deal with the situation. No need to be panic. But this is, for few people, this is really easy to say, but when you adopt it, it makes your life really easy. Honestly, it makes your life easy.
Absolutely. And I think that that's such great advice to hear for not just for prospective franchisees, but actually for franchisees who might be listening as well. If maybe they're not doing as well as they want to be, maybe some of these things they need to look at and kind of checks and balances. Am I doing those things? Am I adaptable to change? I would love to ask just one final question of you, which is this. I love to ask, what is one truth about franchising that you know now that you didn't know when you first bought the business?
Oh, this is kind of really interesting question you asked me. Well, I've been with the company for 25 years and as a franchisee 16 years. And I don't know how many more years in my life I'll be with this company. This is a truth I didn't know when I started with them. And it's a great truth. It gave me everything which I always wanted to do. I feel so proud when my family is happy to me, when my extended family is really happy to me, and when my community is where I'm giving back. Because I believe at the end of the day, money is not just something you just wanted to earn. This is a respect. This is something you wanted to give back to your community. And when you feel like your kids and your wife and your extended family are really seeing you as a role model, as a leader, and this is what accomplishment, achievement. Yes, I'm a very learning person. I always learn from anywhere, from anybody, and it will never stop the day I die. And that is the great truth. I wanted to say in my company, if they're listening or if they're gonna listen, I cannot be thankful to them. I learned a lot in my career under this company and under this leadership, and they gave me all that opportunity, which I always wanted to look for. And it's a great truth I have.
Thank you so much to hear. It has been a pleasure getting to hear about your franchising journey, your story. And I'm sure that Pizza Pizza will be listening, but also so many listeners will get so much value just from this conversation. So I just want to thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. I wish I could change one person's life, and that makes me so happy, and that makes me feel so proud from inside to outside. So I hope I could change somebody's life. Doing a business under franchisee, it's a great thing. If you have a passion, go for it. It's okay. You'll be successful when you do the right things.
Thanks for listening to Franchise Canada Chats. I'm Renée Boudakian with Rubicon Franchise Partners, and this podcast is produced by Joelle Kidd with the Canadian Franchise Association. Missed an episode? You can find Franchise Canada Chats on Spotify, SoundCloud, or wherever you get your podcasts. For expert insights, success stories, and franchise opportunities, visit franchisecanada.online. And while you're there, subscribe to Franchise Canada e-News, a trusted resource for aspiring franchisees looking to achieve their dreams and build their franchise future. If you're exploring franchise ownership, check out lookforafranchise.ca or learn more about franchising at cfa.ca. Thanks again for listening. We'll see you next time.